Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We have seated with us the chairman of the All Progressives Congress chapter in River State, Dr. Davies Ikanya. Sir, welcome to the program. You know,
Thank you.
This release of $1 billion for the war on insurgency has generated so much reaction, and I want to get a sense of whether you believe that that fund, in view of the fact that so much money has been released, even whether it's budgetary or extra budgetary, whether those funds really needed to come out for this purpose.
Thank you very much, Galali. I think that fund will further help to check security breaches in the country. You know that insurgency was very high before the APC government came on board. We used to register up to about 88, 90 cases. But from last year, it has drastically reduced to maybe 10, 8, 12. That means that Boko Haram has actually been technically defeated. You also talk about other security breaches, kidnappings, Fulani herdsmen, the agitation, the militancy in the Niger Delta. So these things have been put under control. I think Nigerians should appreciate the military for the work they have done under Buhari administration. I believe that this release will further help to improve the quality of security in Nigeria. It will help to maintain the gains that has been achieved security-wise. You know, if the military didn't do what they did to Boko Haram, none of us would be in Abuja now.
Dr. Ikanya, we're coming from a place where state funds from the security services are used to fund elections. And this is something that knows no party. This is a Nigerian problem. And what I want to ask you is, why should Nigerians believe that this quantum of money, based on your own admission, sir, you've said that cases have drastically reduced and that Boko Haram is technically defeated. If that is the case, why is it now that this massive quantum of money is coming out of the Federation's coffers in view of the background that I'm talking about in terms of election funding?
First and foremost, nobody in the history of this country except the PDP tampered with money for security, diverting it for election purposes. So it was just something that PDP did once. And after doing that, they regretted, because I'm sure PDP should know that if they had used that money to combat Boko Haram and brought them to their knees, Nigerians would have looked in their direction. So no administration, not even the APC government, would think that taking away money meant for security will be of any use to the party. And you know that it's the same Buhari that revealed to Nigerians that PDP took so much money to fund election and went after them to recover the money. Some of those who took that money, if you ask them to take security money again for political purpose, now they will not do it. So why will any Nigerian think that the present administration, which is fighting corruption, seriously want to divert money meant for security for elections?
Well, Dr. Ikanya, maybe some of those Nigerians that have that perception would see it not as just a federation issue, but also within the states, because state governors do receive security votes, and we know that state governors, in large part from their various states, from both parties, have been involved in election funding with state money. And I think one of the questions that arises now is, if we know that government is just more than just the president, then why is it that Nigerians should now have confidence that these officials that came from the states that are now at the federal level would do differently than they may have done in the past?
Well, you see, we have a serious president now. We have a president that has zero tolerance for corruption. I'm sure everybody serving in this administration would have known that Mr. President would not tolerate that kind of indiscipline. In the case of PDP, you hear something like, Mr. President approved, Mr. President approved. But here, you can't hear anything like that. Now, the performance of President Buhari so far in terms of recovery of funds, in terms of chasing corruption, in terms of being true to Nigeria. Nigerians by now should have confidence that if President Buhari says he's going to do this with social funds, that is what he's going to do.
So we're going to take this opportunity to toss it over to Lagos, and Gimba and Neota are standing by.
Well, Mr. Ikanya, you just said that Mr. President is very, very prudent and would like to say that whatever he says will be used to execute any expenditure on any project he will see through. But you do also remember that there are some concerns that have been raised over the past week about the TSA itself, on the one hand, and some accounts that are not even linked to it, giving room for leakages. So can you confidently, successfully say that if this $1 billion is released, it will not go the way of leakage?
Thank you very much. You will see that there is no system that is 100% leak-proof. But Mr. President has been able to block the leakages to a very, very high degree. And I can say he has performed excellently well. One or two cases does not remove the fact that Mr. President is prudent and is serious about the fight against corruption. So Nigerians should believe Mr. President. There could be one or two cases, but on the whole, it's an excellent performance in terms of being prudent in managing the funds of this nation.
Okay, now that we have this money, hopefully it will get to be released. It depends on which side of the divide you are. But looking at the Northeast itself and the efforts at rebuilding the Northeast, and we understand even fighting Boko Haram to this time, Premium Times has reported that 4.6 trillion naira has been used to execute and prosecute the war against terror within that region. And now you have a $1 billion that you want extra to do that at a time when people believe that there are even more pressier concerns. Say, for instance, 1 million internally displaced people need to be reintegrated into society in the Northeast. You're looking at the poverty line. You're looking at malaria that has killed so many, even there. And you're looking at the possibility of outbreaks of diseases. Do you think that the government should be looking at those areas?
Yes, thank you very much. But you see, you can't be talking about the welfare of the IDPs, you can't be talking about malaria, you can't be talking about any infrastructure if the security situation is in a mess.